Hey, Miss Tam's class. So we're going to be going over number 1 and 2 of the homework you guys had a couple nights ago. Why? Because we need to really drill down on expressions and equations as they are going to be on your test. So number 1A, to find 73 times 9, I find 73 times 10. Then I remove one group of 73. What strategy is that? If we see 9, I just put the answer there, but we're going to walk you through it. If we see 9, we automatically ought to think, I need to get to a friendly number so as to make this easier. That's all we're doing. So when we're doing or when we are inserting specific strategies, I just need you to know that we're doing it for the purpose of making your life easier. We're trying to find the more efficient way. So a little more efficient than teetering and doing standard algorithm with 73 times 9. We should just do it times 10, right? The times 10 rule, super simple, right? We just take away the 0 and put it back on the end, right? So for this, we're going to do that same thing. That's the same thing. We're going to do 73 times 10, but then we're going to be removing, which means it's subtraction. We are removing one group of 73. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing 73 times 10 first, then removing one group of 73? Because the original problem up here, I didn't change it. The original problem up there tells us that we need to be finding 73 times 9, not 10. We just went up 1, which is the over strategy. We went up 1 so we can get to a friendly number. Once again, to find 73 times 9, I find 73 times 10 and remove one group of 73. So we are going to, in order to find 73 times 9, we are going to use the over strategy where we take that 9 and we bump it up to 10. We find the product. And then we take 73 away, or we take one group away because we added one group when we bumped it up. Now, when we go back to 1A, let's look at actually number 1. The directive says write a numerical expression that includes grouping symbols. It is not telling us to solve this. When we have the test, if it says write a numerical expression, that's all they want you to do. So we should not see, 73 times 9, gotta be 730. We shouldn't see any of this. Okay. This, when it says write a numerical expression, that would be your answer. And the grouping symbols that we are using are parentheses. So could you have written this like this? Is that answer acceptable? Would that be acceptable? As far as does this answer here, the second one, 73 times 10, take away 73, does that satisfy or does that express this verbiage in this sticky? And the answer is yes. But what it is lacking here are the grouping symbols. Okay. Now let's go to number 2, where I did not give you the answer already. So actually, this is not number 2. This is number 1B, which is right here. To find the volume of a box that has an 18 by 25 base and 12 layers, I multiply the area times the base and the height. Here's what we need to think about. Whenever we see volume right now, whenever we see the word box, I want you to think about when we did number corner and we had prisms. That is going to save your life here. So think about number corner, think about prisms. The fact that we are given 3 different numbers should clue you in on something. When I see anything about base, I'm going to think about length times width times height, because that's how we're getting the area. But for the base, I'm going to think about length times width. And if you remember, it went a little something like this. This is something I'm hoping we are all, ooh, my W. We all remember. There we are. Length times width times height. And here is a key detail about this. Length times width times height. Here's how we get our base. It is length times width. Length by width by height. This multiplication symbol can also be interchanged with the word by. Let's look up here again at 1B at the verbiage. They are saying to find the volume of a box that has an 18 by 25 base or an 18 times 25 base. So what am I going to do? I am going to substitute this L and this W for 28 and 25. And I think I'm going to keep it like that. So, I'm sorry, for 18 and 25. Miss damn. 18 and 25. Okay, but do we have a height? Do they tell us anything about a height? They do, because they said layers. Layers indicate one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. And we keep stacking. That means we are getting higher. It's indicative of height. So we are now going to put 12 there. And what does it say? I multiply the area times the base. Make sure I did that correctly. Of the base. Look at, geez, guys, I'm doing what I tell you I normally do, right? We make mistakes because that doesn't make sense. Area times the base. So the directive is I multiply the area of the base times the height. I have to change it, guys. You know, I need to do this. I multiply the area of the base times the height. All right, sorry, we need to change that. All right, so the area of the base. How do we find the area of the base? Just did those parentheses here. This is the area, so we're going to do this here. Parentheses mean do this first. Okay? Won't all the way matter because everything in this expression, is multiplication. But you will have other assignments, you will have other problems where it isn't all multiplication, and that's where our PEMDAS comes in. So get used to doing everything you see in parentheses first. Now, what is 18 times 25? Pause this video if you need to do that. Oh, actually, we don't need to do that. Miss Tam, we don't need to do that. Why? Because we're not solving. Write a numerical expression. I'm right here. That includes grouping symbols. So we have satisfied 1b. We've satisfied it because we've got 18 times 25 in parentheses times 12. That is number 1b. Now we're going to move on to number 2. Number 2a says, and let's look at number 2, write and solve an equation to represent each situation. Now we're not doing expressions, right? So now we should be seeing some equal signs. Now we need to get down to business and figure this out, right? So we're going to write and solve an equation to represent each situation. Number 2a. To find 23 times 8, I double and I have. Bleh. I have. To find 23 times 8. Clearly, we could do this. We could do this. We can do that. We could do 3 times 8 and then 8 times 2. We can do all of that. That standard algorithm. Thing about this curriculum, they do not want you to only have the right answer. They want you to know how to get it in a million different ways. Because if you can strategize your way out of math, you're really going to do much better with it. All right. Whenever you see an odd number, so first of all, let's talk about what strategy they're doing. This strategy is called doubling and halving. Doubling and halving. So with this strategy, whenever you see an odd number, think about the fact that an odd number is multiplication. Think about the fact that you can say, I'm going to double that number. The whole goal is to get to a friendly number, right? And or to get to a number that's even, to get to a number that we are familiar with, we've worked with before. Then when you get to the even number within the problem, you say, I'm going to half that. I'm going to cut that in half. What are you talking about, Miss Tam? This is how we're going to solve 2a. To find 23 times 8, I double and I half. So here's the first thing we're going to do. See if I can write 23 times 8 equals what they say I should be able to do. Double, how do we want to show this? So I want you guys to really get used to these parentheses. Doubling my odd number, 23 times having my even number. Okay, that's that. But we're not done, right? Because they want us to really work this out and solve it. So that equals, what is 23 times 2? 46. What is 8 divided by 2? 4. So that means 46. We're at 46 times 4. 46 times 4. Now we are going to double and half again. Okay, let me get this in red. We're doubling and halving again. So we got 46 times 4. What is double of 46? So here, you guys, we're going to have an equal sign here. Let me make sure. There we go. What is double of 46 at this point? We're going to work. Sorry. Hold on. We are going to work that out. So we have this, parenthesis, 46 times 2, which is double, times 4 divided by 2, which is halving, equals 92, for the purposes of going quickly, 92 times 2. Now, does that look like something we could solve pretty quick? Because it's just times 2. I'm going to go with yes. So 2 times 2 is 4. Let's work it out. I don't want to just do this in my head because I want you guys not to do that. Now we can go with standard algo, or you can also do this. However, I'm not an advocate for this for 5th grade, the adding, but if this is what you need to do, have at it. 2 plus 2 is 4. 9 plus 9 is 18. 2 times 2 is 4. 9 times 2 is 18. So the answer is 184. That means on your test for problems like these, I need to see you work it from what they said, which is to find 23 times 8. I double and I have. To find 23 times 8, I double and I have. Then I double and I have again. Then I take the product and the quotient of my doubling and halving, and I find its product, and then here is my answer. That is 2A. 2B, I've had some fun parental conversations surrounding 2B. And I will say this, I don't want to clear all, so hold on. This is not the math we learned. All right, I'm here for you. I'm here for it. It's definitely not the same way we learned it, but I will say these strategies are life savers, game changers, like once you guys understand how to do it. So these are not the strategies your parents have learned. However, they're amazing. All right, the last one, this is 2B. To find 24 times 17, I multiply 20 times 17, then add it to 4 times 17. Let's check Miss Tam because she's over here sleepy. 2B, to find 24 times 17, I multiply 20 times 17 and add it to 4 times 17. Look at that. Here's the problem at hand. We're trying to find this, but we are trying to find it in a more efficient way. Okay? So it says, forget about this 4 for a minute. I'm going to use what strategy is this? Pause this video and just yell the strategy they're talking about. Pause the video and yell it out. The strategy is the partial product strategy. They are breaking up number 24, right? Because they are saying, okay, you want me to multiply these 2-digit numbers, 24 and 17, absolutely random. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it more friendly. I'm going to make this a bit more friendly by, and here we go with partial product. This 2 is in the tens place, which means we broke this 24 up by 20. We're saying we're pulling the 20 out. Boom. Okay. Times 17. Then, so we're right here. 20 times 17. Then add it to 4 times 17. Add it to 4 times 17. Where did this 4 come from? Right here in the ones place. So we've got the 2, which is actually a 20 because it is in the tens place and the 4 in the ones place. We broke out 24. 24. Okay? So now we're going to, hold on, let me make sure, are we solving this? We are. All right. So see how I keep going back and forth? You've got to make sure you do exactly what they're asking you to do so you can get full credit. So now we broke it out. So now let us solve. 20 times 17 is, we're doing it this way. 20 times 17. 0 times 7 is 0. 7 times 2 is 14. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. So then we've got, hold on, I have to move my little, let me move myself. So then we've got to add this up. So we've got 0, 4, and 3. 0, 4, 3, which is 340. Plus, now we're going to be working this guy out. And that is going to be 17, 4. What is 7 times 4? I've had a few people forget this one, which is totally fine. But do we know 7 times 3? It's 21. And then you add another group of 7, which is going to bring us to 28. So then we have 4 times 1 is 4 plus this lovely 2 is going to be 68. Skadoosh. All right, let me just clean this up a little bit just so we can see. Now, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add these two. Let me clean it again. We're going to add these two. And let me just tell you, if your test has all these markings on it, I love you for it because then I'll be able to see what you're thinking, right? How did you get the answer? How you got the answer is normally half of the credit for each problem. So it's really important to show it. 0 plus 8 is 8. 4 plus 6 is 10. 1 plus 3, it's 4. This is 408. There you go for 2B. So we just worked through the problems on your homework from the other day. Problems 1 and 2, specifically 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. Cool beans, guys.